You're just digging that hole deeper. Digging that hole deeper.
I played it online. I played the Hunger Games on Minecraft. And it was
You played the
fun.
Hunger Games.
I used to listen to Inception music. You know, Time from Hans Zimmer while playing Hunger Games, and it was a very epic experience. What the fuck am I talking about?
Bishop, Markel, straight in on this motherfucker.
So Tim, long story short, I was one of those Minecraft peasants, and then something happened. I don't know what happened, but I kind of stopped playing it, and then I wasn't a peasant anymore. No, you're good. Go play Minecraft. Yeah, that's something.
You guys sucks.
Which I find so strange. I didn't know before, but many of the guys making like stuff in the Blender game engine and all that stuff, most of these guys have like laptops and shitty PCs making all their stuff. Which I don't know why, but it surprised me so much because I was making like these game demos in the Blender game engine, making everything look good as hell and great, and nobody was able to play it.
This is why we do it better though, because our computers are so crappy. That means that we're like ours are better optimized. It means that you could have a toaster computer and it can play. With your great like setup, if somebody with a crappy computer tried to play one of your games, they'd have some trouble.
Right, and that's what I didn't notice in the beginning, and that's what I didn't give a shit about, which I was just like, okay, I'm gonna make this game look awesome, and then everybody's gonna like it, but I didn't actually think about that no one's ever gonna be able to play the game.
Yeah.
But now my point of view on that kind of changed, or my ideas, but that's something that surprised me a lot in the beginning. That how can you?
I feel like even if I got like a good computer, I'd probably still make the Blender games on my crappy computer just so that I know that they're able to run.
Yeah, that was kind of my excuse when I had my laptop as well. Like, so it's the same kind of philosophy. Like, if I can run it on here, then anybody can run it. But
yeah,
it got to a point where you can only optimize a game so far, and the more you add stuff, it kind of becomes more difficult to optimize. So I kind of just got a little frustrated with it.
I think it's good to have a nice PC and develop a game on there, but testing it on the lower end is always very important then.
Blender beginning stories, part 1.
Are we
episode
live?
1, volume 1. Let's go.
We're live.
Testing.
Mic
testing. Alright.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay,
Yeah, we're
so
good.
let me introduce myself. My name is...
I am Professor Sky.
My name is Professor Sky, and I'm a German guy. But long story short, the way I got introduced to this awesome software package known to mankind as Blender was back in the day when everything was great and the clouds and the sky was gray, which is why. Like back in the day, the skies were gray, and my name resulted out of that. Because I watched the gray skies a lot. It was good. Okay, no, but okay, my story. When I was in school, in like 2nd grade or 3rd grade, I don't even know anymore. I was quite a computer kid. I played games like Spider-Man 3 or something was like one of my first PC games which I got, and I was so proud that I got it because it was I needed to be 12 to play it. There was like an age restriction on it, and I was actually 11. So so I had to convince my dad that I was already able to play this game, and we talked through it, and yeah, I was allowed to play this game. But later, my dad introduced me to this program he found on the internet somehow, which was, you guessed it, Blender. So from that on, I started like I didn't even know what to do, didn't know anything about it, so I didn't know what the 3D cursor was. It was just some random thing which was there, and this like I didn't even understand that this was like a 3D viewport I was looking at. So somehow I figured out how to edit like this default cube, and I tried to try to move around those 8 vertices I had to make a TIE fighter because I wanted to model a TIE fighter, which clearly didn't work out with 8 vertices, but that was all I know, how to move vertices. Until I someday started watching tutorials, and that is how I made a lot of, like, I did a lot of shitty stuff, but I learned a lot from that. And now I am where I am today, making shitty stuff still, but
I
yeah.
would disagree with that, but yeah.
Wait,
That's-
so is it my turn now, or
that's
are we waiting
story.
for volume 2 for that one?
Here's oh yeah, okay. And yeah, so please like the video and copy paste those likes and yeah. Okay. I'll see you next time.
Won a
My
million
little
on this video. We need 1 million dislikes, please.
give me those 1 million dislikes, guys. We need to
give them
shoot
that.
for those 500,000 dislikes, man.
Let's
I
shoot
need that.
There's 100.
Wait, if we hit 1 million dislikes, Tim is going to go back.
I'll do a giveaway.
I'm gonna do
yeah.
backflip off my wheelchair. I was gonna say that. Yeah, actually, I'm sitting in a wheelchair. Insert sad
Right
mu-
now.
Insert sad music here.
Insert setting.
Okay,
No.
who's next? Is it me or you next?
You know what? I'll save mine for last. Save the worst for last.
Okay,
Let's go with you.
it's not the okay, fine. So, welcome to welcome to episode 2 of volume 2. Where was episode 1 of volume 2? Episode welcome to the episode of the volume of the I'm gonna start now. Okay, so my Blender beginning story. I gotta get my oh yeah. Okay.
Drink some more.
Alright. Okay, so my Blender beginning story. I was in I think I was in the 7th grade, around there, and I was pretty close with my computer teacher, and her daughter was she was studying animation and 3D animation and stuff. And we were just hanging out one day, I think it was a Friday, we were just hanging out there playing with computers because, she let us do that because she liked us. And her daughter was there as well, and she was busy doing some kind of animation, and our teacher told us about her. She's like, she's studying animation, you can go check that out if you want. And she told me about it, she told me about Blender, and she said it's this amazing, it's this awesome tool, you can create animations and stuff. And it's free as well. They said they were gonna get it from me and put it on a disc and stuff, so I could use it. So eventually I went and downloaded it. I started the first tutorial I went and watched was how to make a golden ring, and I was so proud of that. I followed that tutorial and I made that ring, and I went and called my mom and was like, Mom, I made a golden ring in Blender. And I called her and she had to come and watch, and I basically sat down and I'd kind of memorized the tutorial, so I was like, Mom, watch this, and then I started pretty much reciting the tutorial to her.
That was the
And
start
then,
as
yeah,
a tutorial
just-
maker.
And then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go and I want to do that. I want to make tutorials.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, real?
and then so eventually I made that piece of that stuff, and it was I was actually proud of myself for that. And
So-
then that's where that channel started. I started making that kind of
Crazy.
stuff. It was actually I got into Blender in 2.5 2.5 something, 2.59 I think, 2.58 or
You were like baby
Really?
to me. I was there in 2.4.
I started making like animations and stuff, and yeah, it was absolutely. God, I was rendering on like an ancient machine. It took forever and ever. So like I'd make like a 6-second animation, and it would render for the day. That was what I waited for during the day, and yeah, it kind of continued from there. And what really kind of made me use it more and more was when I think it was around 2.62 or something like that, they released motion tracking, and that got me like really excited because I wanted to, now I could put animation and video together, and that excited me a lot. So I started using it for that more and more, and that's where that channel spawned from, and all the videos on there. And then I started, and then this is a really long story, and then after that I remember I watched this one tutorial on how to make games in Blender because I didn't really think it was possible. I was like, what, games in it's an animation software, like haha, stop joking. But then I remembered, I don't know, I watched this tutorial and this guy who's showing you how to make a cube move around. It's like a basic intro tutorial. And I kind of forgot about it, and then a month or so later, I just kind of remembered what he did, and I started playing around with logic bricks, and I thought, this is really cool, I'm gonna get into this. And then that happened too, and I learned how to use the game engine like really well, and now I'm here. Yay. Oh, and I also started using Blender for video editing because it's awesome.
No.
I'm more cringing about Blender being used for video editing. Like,
Yeah. Tim's
like
got his issues.
Shots fired.
wow.
No, just kidding.
This guy, go
He's
to
not
the court.
joking. He's
Think
not
about
kidding.
what you did. It's just, like, hey, there only needs to be 2 volumes.
A volume. Please copy paste the dislikes. Okay, next.
Oh, that didn't sound convincing, dude. That didn't sound convincing. Dude.
Please, guys, copy paste those dislikes. Let's aim for 5
1 million, 1 million,
1 million dislikes.
1 million billion
dislikes.
trillions.
Please, guys, smash that dislike button. I need those dislikes. Okay, episode
Okay.
3.
Let's do, dang it. Please don't. Episode 3, volume 3. What happened to the first 2?
Episode.
They don't need to know my story. Let's just get on with it.
Even if we don't make a video about that,
Oh god, okay. So, when I was a youngin', back in the 4th grade, my dad bought this thing. It wasn't really very big back then, but it was called a home computer. And it had this thing called Ubuntu. Now known as Linux, but back then it was called Ubuntu. And it actually came with, I don't know if my dad downloaded it or if it came with it, but it had Blender on it. And I had no clue what that was. So I was fascinated because I'd always wanted to make my own games. That was something that I always wanted to do. But it was because like I said, I was like in the 4th grade, so it was a little bit too much for me. So for the meanwhile, I just went over to using Game Maker Tycoon Diamond Edition. Mm-hmm. Anyways, then I moved to North Carolina, which is where I am now, like for my first year of middle school. So I'd had Blender for like a year, but had only like dabbled in it. And I was in there, and I had no games. I had no friends because I just moved, and I had like no internet. So it was legit just me and Blender, and I just finally cracked and decided to start using it. And I was pretty much self-taught because I hadn't started looking at tutorials yet because, like I said, no internet. So it was just trial and error. And the first game that I ever made was called Hoverboard Riders. And looking back on it now, it looked like crap. It was probably terrible, but I was proud of it, okay? First game I'd ever made. It was like a racing game with hoverboards and stuff. And eventually we got internet, and now I liked Blender because of what I was able to do. and I found tutorials, and I was like, oh hey, I can listen to these and actually like learn stuff. So I just, from there, ever since, I have been learning how to use the logic bricks and how to like model and stuff, and I've gotten way better. But I just never learned how to use Python because, you know, too lazy to, and that's come back to bite me. So that's my life story, and I have decided that I want to go back and use all of the new skills that I now have, and remake hoverboard riders. Modern generation. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
So this is a this whole story was leading up. All three of our stories was leading up to an announcement of a remake of an old crappy game I did when I was like 12 or something. I don't even remember how old I was.
Oh shit! I can see this game. I can see this game getting so much attention already.
Like that's our story. That's our challenge too. That's
yeah.
You don't even have to record, Tim. That was the challenge right there. We're making hoverboard riders. The 4 of us, 5 of us.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, you, me, Sky, other Nick, and Obi.
Let's make Nick's childhood vision come true. His childhood dream.
Bishop. Man, Markel. Straight in on this one. Fuck it. I've been grinding for the love and getting nothing. Now I see it's coming and it started from the dungeon. 24/7 laying lines on percussions. I never stayed inside cause the trouble erupted. I slaved writing rhymes cause the money was coming. Then it switched to the shine and the dimes that I'm pumping. I still hold my mind, you find interruption. My submissions were wise while y'all guys were clutched in. I'm clutching a whole different situation. It came from my patience and love for the greatness. Now I created, some say I'm their favorite, others saying they hate.